Alright boys and girls, the time has come. Because since the last couple of games haven't been that great, I needed to go back to basics. Back to the classics. I needed to play a game that I was sure I'd enjoy just as much now as I did all the way back when I played it for the very first time. A game beloved by millions around the world since the day it first released. A game so well known and acclaimed that the mind jumps to it the moment you hear the name PlayStation. Oh yeah, you know the one. Real fishing. That's right, when people say classic PlayStation, you know this is what they're talking about. To tell you the truth, I was surprised to learn that this game has such a loyal and dedicated following. It was nice to find that so many people still remember and adore this timeless classic, instead of just a few lonely weirdos like myself.
Oh, I got a bite! Reel him in! Oh, no, man, I lost him! Fuck!
Alright, you got me. That's not what I'm here to talk about. No, I want to talk about Spyro. Yeah, everyone and their dog knows about Spyro. Everyone who was into PlayStation back in the day at least. The name was practically synonymous with PS1, along with other greats like Crash Bandicoot, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid and Mort the Chicken. You look up any list of the best PS1 games, Spyro's bound to be on there somewhere. But is the purple one's illustrious reputation truly deserved? Is Spyro really one of the greats? Or have we all just been blinded by nostalgia? I'll be the judge of that. Me! Because mine is the only voice that matters on this poxy fucking website. Yeah. So Spyro the Dragon was developed by... Wait, what the fuck is that? Spyro Reignited? What? That's right, they did remake the first 3 Spyro games for modern consoles in 2018. Oh god, that was nearly 5 fucking years ago. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we could play that. With its overhauled visuals in stunning HD, updated gameplay and quality of life improvements. I mean, what's the point of playing this old shit when we could play this, right? Well, I ain't about all that. I'm old school.
I'm old school.
So yeah, we're going old school, motherfucker. So Spyro the Dragon, the original, was developed for PS1 by Insomniac Games. Ooh, Spider-Man! And published by Sony Computer Entertainment in 1998. You play as the titular, little lovable purple dinosaur. Dragon! Not dinosaur! On his quest to save the Dragon Realms from the evil nasty Nork, who has imprisoned all the dragons in Crystal and nicked all their treasure. And all because a couple dragons trash-talked him in a TV interview. Now that's how you know this was made in the 90s. If this was made today, Nasty Nork wouldn't have trapped the dragons in Crystal. He'd have made a response video and they'd have had a fight over Twitter. Maybe even challenged each other to a boxing match. So then little Spyro sets out to free the dragons, get the treasure back, and defeat Nasty Nork. God of War 2016, eat your heart out. So as you'd expect, the game is a 3D platformer. Quite a unique one for the time. Its levels a lot wider and more expansive than other platformers of the day, which tended to feature tighter corridor-style layouts. The game's divided into several realms, which serve as larger hub areas from which you can enter various levels. So what can Spyro do? Well, he can run, charge, roll, jump and glide, as well as breathe fire to defeat enemies and smash through barricades and break open containers. Some enemies can't be harmed by fire, nor can some containers be opened with it, meaning you have to use your charge for them. So not quite as many abilities as some of the other games we've looked at, but decent enough. But Spyro isn't alone on his journey, accompanied by his trusty companion, Sparx the Dragonfly. But Sparx isn't just some hanger-on, just another useless video game companion to add to the list. He actually serves a very important purpose. He's Spyro's health meter, which I must admit is a pretty creative way to do it. I don't think I've seen anything else like that yet. Sparx's colour represents how much health Spyro's got. When he's bright yellow, it means you're at full health. You get hit once, he turns blue. You get hit again, he turns green. And if you get hit once more, he disappears completely, meaning you've got almost no health left. And if you get hit just one more time, you're dead. So you actually don't have a great deal of health, and it only takes a couple hits before you're dead, so you better not fuck around. And how do you replenish your health? Well, get this. Spyro actually replenishes his health by going around and slaughtering poor innocent animals. Seriously, if you're low on health, just run over to a poor little sheep or something just minding its own business and either gore it with your horns or burn it alive. Jesus, look at the poor things running away. They're terrified. What kind of messages are these games giving to kids? If you're not feeling well, just go and murder the first random animal you see? How's Peter not been all over this shit? But seriously, given some of the shit they've gone off about over the years, I'm actually surprised Peter hasn't been up in arms about this. But it gets even worse because after Spyro's killed the poor defenseless creature, a butterfly, which I can only assume is the animal's soul on its way to the great beyond, appears, and then Sparks eats it. Look, he just gobbles it up, like a great white shark catching a poor innocent seal in its maws. So not only is the animal killed, but it also has its soul consumed as well. Jesus! Anyway, the consuming of the butterfly restores one of your hit points. Another cool thing about Sparks is that he collects any nearby gems for you, so you don't have to mess around too much trying to grab them all yourself, which can be a pain due to the controls. Yeah, they're not too bad, but it can be annoying making small movements and trying to move to a particular spot, but more on that later. As mentioned earlier, the game's divided into several hubs or homeworlds from which you can access individual levels or realms. Most of the homeworlds have 5 smaller levels each. You'll move from one homeworld to the next as you progress through the game. You move between homeworlds by talking to the balloonists who'll transport you, and I like the way Spyro just jumps on their heads to get into the balloon, although they don't seem to give a shit. In order to unlock different homeworlds, you have to collect certain amounts of the various collectibles you come across. So your main objective is to free the dragons from their crystal bondage. They're the main collectibles you encounter. To do this, you simply walk up to the big green dragon statue and just kind of rub your nose on it or something, and that's enough to break the spell apparently. Something tells me this nasty Nork guy isn't the shiniest gem in the gem sack. Upon freeing the dragons, you get a little conversation. Some of them provide you with useful advice, a few spout random bullshit, and some just say thanks and then bugger off. Oh, you don't want to give me any advice? Don't feel like helping in any way? Okay then. Fine. Dickhead. These cutscenes also give us an insight into Spyro's personality too. And looking back on this now, he's kind of a bloodthirsty little fucker. I mean, we've already seen how willing he is to massacre any random animal he comes across if he needs to. But yeah, he's always going on about torturing Nasty Nork and anyone else who stands in his way, like it's his one and only focus and goal and he won't rest until he sees it through. He's like the John Wick of the Dragon Realms. Jesus, I'd hate to think what would happen if Nasty Nork killed his dog. Although Spyro would probably have roasted and eaten the thing long before Nasty Nork got anywhere near it. In addition to rescuing the dragons, you've also got to collect all the treasure which has been scattered throughout the world. You'll find gems just lying around like pennies in the street, as well as hidden in chests and by defeating enemies. And while you don't have to collect all the gems, you'll have to if you're going for 100% completion. And let me tell you, you don't know frustration until you're down to just 1 or 2 gems and you're going around all over the fucking level, retracing your steps, leaving no stone unturned like you're tearing your fucking house apart when you can't find your fucking keys. As well as the dragons and gems, in some levels you've got to rescue dragon eggs from the thieves in blue. Oh yeah, you remember these annoying little fuckers, teasing you, taunting you, chasing them endlessly but they're always just outside your reach, and the sweet satisfaction that comes with finally catching them and impaling the fuckers on your horns. Yeah. Although, funnily enough, they didn't seem as hard to catch as I remember. In fact, they actually felt a lot harder in the remake, so who knows, maybe they upped the difficulty a bit, the cheeky bastards. The level design is pretty straightforward. Most of them are structured in pretty much the same way. You just make your way through to the end, rescuing dragons, collecting gems, and defeating enemies along the way. You don't actually have to collect anything to complete the level, you just have to reach the end, although you do have to collect at least some things in order to progress through the game. Now, although the way to the exit is pretty simple, most levels do have further areas to explore with more dragons and gems to find, which you will have to reach if you want to get 100% completion. And if you're like me, some of these bits will have you scratching your head for ages trying to figure out where the fuck you're supposed to go next. In addition to the main levels, you also have the Speedways, which are basically timed challenges where you've got to make it through the course and collect everything within the time limit. And Spyro actually flies properly for these levels. What the fuck, he can fly now but not before? What, does he only fly when he feels like it, the lazy fucker? These were actually the hardest parts of the game. It's not a very hard game overall, but these bits will have you tearing your fucking hair out. The time limit's about as tight as a nun's twat. You've seriously got to make every fucking second count. If you miss something, you might as well just crash and start over, cause you won't have enough time to go back, even if it takes just a second or two. There's 4 types of collectible in each speedway, and you can choose which order to collect them in, but from my experience, it seems there really is only one true order, where you can move from one set to the next without wasting too much time, and if you deviate from it, you'll probably fail because there just isn't enough time. Now while these levels could certainly be frustrating, I didn't hate them much, probably because there's only one per homeworld, and the flight controls are actually pretty good. I mean, they want to be, considering they brought in a fucking NASA engineer to help with them. Yeah. Each realm also has a boss fight, although I use the term boss fight in almost the loosest possible sense. Yeah, there's a boss, and you do fight them, I guess, but these are some of the most nothing boss fights I've seen in a game, to the point where I would be hesitant to even call them fights. They're mostly just regular levels, except you're chasing the boss and fighting your way through their minions, all while still rescuing dragons and collecting gems. You don't really fight them in the traditional sense, you mostly just have to get up close to them and flame them a couple times, and that's it. So yeah, nothing to write home about. A couple do have unique things you have to do to beat them, like Metalhead, where you have to destroy all the pylons, but on the scale of boss fights, this is close to the bottom, right next to Croc, and even they at least felt something like a fight and had some connection to the story, like they were created by Big Evil Frogman to stop Croc on his journey, while the bosses in Spyro are kind of just there. Yeah, they're meant to be, I don't know, lieutenants of Nasty Nork or something, but we don't ever see them with them or know anything about them or really why we're even fighting them, so there's no real stakes, which means they're just not that compelling. So let's talk about the controls. Well, on the scale of good to shit, they do score higher than some of the other games I've played so far. Yeah, by now you may have realised, as I have, that as a rule, PS1 games don't control all that well. They just didn't have that aspect of game design nailed down back then. Meaning that when revisiting games from this era, the best you can hope for in terms of controls is for them to be at least tolerable. But fortunately, as I said, the controls here do fall on the higher end of the scale. They have a unique feeling that's stuck with me all these years, and I don't think I've played another game that feels quite like it. They have this kind of floaty feel to them, which I like, while also still having a bit of weight and not being overly sensitive. Of course, they're not perfect. It can still be a pain to get Spyro facing in the exact direction you want him to go, and you need to be careful when near the edges of cliffs or platforms, because a wrong move can easily send you flying off to your death. So with the controls out of the way, let's move on to presentation. Once again, there's no point in critiquing the graphics too much, given their age, but to be honest, these are pretty impressive for the time, especially considering the open and expansive nature of the levels. They had to use new methods of rendering to display so much on screen at once, without pushing the poor PS1 past its limits. My only complaint is that, while the level of detail is impressive, I did find the colours in some levels to be a little bland and desaturated, although from what I understand this was done deliberately to help with depicting more details off in the distance, without the colours becoming oversaturated. Stuart Copeland's soundtrack is iconic, and one of my favourites from the PS1 era. It has such a unique sound that's stuck with me for many years. Every realm and homeworld has its own distinct sound that's upbeat and goes well with the graphics and gameplay to create a fun and playful atmosphere. If I did have a major criticism, I would say that while the levels are well designed and the game is fun to play, the gameplay itself does get a bit repetitive after a while. You don't gain any new abilities as you progress, and looking past each level's individual layout and aesthetic, they mostly all play out in pretty much the same way. You're just going through, defeating enemies, navigating the platform and collecting gems and rescuing dragons. There's not much in the way of unique challenges or objectives, for the most part, although some levels do have some standout aspects, like treetops, where you've got to use the speedways around the trees to shoot yourself across the entire level to catch these thieving little bastards. Seriously, aside from the flying levels, this was the hardest part of the game. You don't want to know how long I spent racing round and round these fucking speedways trying to fling myself across the entire fucking map. So finally, after making your way across multiple homeworlds, rescuing dragons, recovering treasure and massacring countless innocent creatures, you make it to Nasty Nork's world, and it's time to face the man himself. And if I could use only one word to describe it, it would be, well, underwhelming. Yeah, this is pretty much just another non-boss fight, just like the previous ones. Hell, you're not even chasing Nasty Nork for half of it. Instead, you've got to chase a couple thieves around to get the keys to lower the platform, and then you can go after him. You just chase him around a short course, roast his nasty green arse a few times, and there you go, you're done. Yeah, I would go so far as to call it something of an anticlimax to Spyro's long and difficult journey to save the Dragon Realms. It's not that challenging, it's just a bit annoying because you've got to chase Nasty along this narrow track, and it's easy to fall off and die, and if you do, then you've got to go back and chase these fuckos around again. So anyway, you beat Nasty Nork and all is well in the Dragon Realms again. But it doesn't look like Spyro gets much of a reward for all of his hard work. I mean, fuck, at least Croc got a massive fuck-off statue for saving the Gobbos. All Spyro seems to get is a measly fucking pat on the back. Thanks, guys. Way to make all my efforts feel appreciated. Although, once you've got 100% completion, i.e. collected everything, then you get access to Nasty Nork's treasure hoard. There's not much to say, it's just an extra level where you go around and collect a bunch of gems that you don't do anything with. There's not even any enemies to fight, so what's the point? Whatever. So in conclusion, Spyro the Dragon is a charming and fun game that lives up to its reputation as one of the most well-known and beloved platformers of the PS1 era. It is a little rough around the edges when compared with games of today, just like all these games are, and it does get a bit repetitive and it's not all that challenging for the most part, but that doesn't keep it from being just as fun and enjoyable now as it was all those years ago. Of course, with the release of Spyro Reignited, there's not much reason to go back to the original, but if you're looking for a nostalgia kick, then you can't go wrong with Spyro the Dragon. I'll always be happy to revisit it. Hey, look at that, no sheep were harmed in the making of this game. Well, that's certainly reassuring to know. But what about all the other animals Spyro slaughtered during his quest? You're saying those were actually harmed? What, it's okay to go around murdering innocent creatures so long as they're not sheep? What, do sheep lives matter but no others? What are yous, fucking sheep supremacists?
Der Größe und der Ehre und der Kraft und der Herrlichkeit und der Gerechtigkeit. Amen.
So anyway, Insomniac has a long history and will soon be celebrating their 30th birthday. Just like someone else. Over those 3 decades they produced other classic PlayStation titles like Ratchet & Clank, Resistance Fall of Man, and of course Spider-Man. But before we can get to all that, we've still got unfinished business in the Dragon Realms. Oh yes, that we do. Well, there's another one for the books, and I must say it was fun to revisit this one, especially since the last couple games weren't that great, although this was still quite a difficult script to write. It's always the bad games that are easier to write for, I find. I guess cause there's usually more things to talk about. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed. As usual, if you did, then please like and subscribe. If you didn't, then tell me to go fuck myself, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to be taking a look at Spyro 2. Thanks again.